Hey guys, it's Robyn, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. Today I have got Bring Back My Bar warm reviews, which I know a lot of you have been waiting for. I did cold reviews of these a couple weeks ago on my channel here, so if you haven't seen those and want to see them, they're a couple videos back. Hope everyone enjoyed their holidays and are getting ready for New Year's. So happy New Year's if you're watching this around that time. I've now warmed all of the Bring Back My Bar scents. So I've warmed them all. I can tell you how they performed, if they've changed on warm at all, and often things do. Yeah, so things will smell like they're going to perform strongly, but then they don't, or vice versa. Or things will smell like something you do or don't like on cold, and then you do or don't like them on warm. So sometimes opinions change on warm, and with these, some of them did, for sure. And some of them definitely didn't. Some of these opinions definitely stayed the same as they were on cold. So I will let you know which was which. And in this video, I've gone from, we're going to rank these from, this is going to be very subjective. So again, these are going to be my opinions only. You may like or dislike things that are totally opposite from me. We're going from my least favorites to my most favorites, and I've got them divided into 4 categories here. The first category is bars that I personally did not care for, either because of performance or because the scent just was not for me at all. The next category is the largest category, and that is going to be bars that I thought were worth trying, but are not ones I would repurchase personally. So worth trying, glad I have them, glad I'm trying them, but not ones I would get more of. The next category is the second largest category, and it is bars that I really liked and will repurchase more of. So these are ones that I like enough to get more of, but not enough to throw in my Scentsy club. So that is the other thing here, is that these bars are available January 1st until the end of January. So at that point you can order whichever configurations you want of these in bundle and save or whatever else. You can also add them to your club if you want to. Now, club has the always get my bar perk, which allows you to continue to receive these bars even after they're gone from Bring Back My Bar. So the way Scentsy does Bring Back My Bar now, a bar has to be out of the catalog for 2 years before it's eligible for voting for Bring Back My Bar, and it has to have not been back in at least 5 years to be eligible for voting. So these bars that we're going to talk about here today probably will not be eligible for voting for another 5 years. So if there's any of these that you try that you really enjoy, I would encourage you to either stock up on them or throw them into a Scentsy club, because if they're in your Scentsy club, you'll get them through Always Get My Bar. So with Scentsy club, even after the bar is retired, you'll continue to get it because it's in your Scentsy club. So there's another category of bars here, which were my favorite ones, that are going to be club contenders. These are ones that I'm considering throwing into my Scentsy club. Some of them will definitely be thrown in, probably most of them, but they're ones that I'm strongly considering for club. So again, these are available January 1st through the end of January, and if you throw them in a club, you'll continue to get them on an ongoing basis. As we go along, I would love if you would put your opinions on these bars in the comments below as well. So if you have smelled these or warmed them yourself, please let us know as we go what you thought of these bars, because if we read through the comments, we can see if there's patterns developing. If a lot of people don't like a certain bar or a lot of people are loving a certain bar, because again, otherwise we're just going on my opinions, and that's not going to necessarily represent everybody. So throw your opinions in the comments below so we can read everyone else's as well. All right, the first bar we have here was, for me, by far my least favorite of the bunch, and I didn't care for this one on cold either, so this won't be much of a surprise. This is Orange Dreamsicle. Now this is a classic combination of fresh orange swirled with vanilla cream, which sounds very safe. That sounds like it should be a crowd pleaser, and I think this one is just a me problem, because everyone else I've had stick their nose in this liked it. So I think this is just going to be I'm an odd one out here. Orange Dreamsicle, not for me at all. However, performance on this was very good. Yeah, nope, I get something very off here. It's very off to my nose. I strongly dislike it. I did 2 cubes of this in my office. The scent strength, I would say, was about a 7 out of 10, stronger than average. Longevity, I can't speak to because I had to take it out. I could not do this more than about 10-12 hours. And at that point I took it out. It was still going strong. So that is Orange Dreamsicle. Not for me, not a repurchase. However, your mileage may vary because most people seem to like that. My husband loved it. I'm going to give him that bar to take to his classroom to melt there since he enjoyed it. The next one we have here is Sizzlin Coconut. Now this one I quite like on cold. This is a tempting mix of cinnamon, coconut milk, and rich vanilla. So cinnamon, coconut milk, and vanilla. Now this one I do like on cold, and I liked it on warm initially as well. You get a kind of barky dry cinnamon with a sweet vanilla and a bit of coconut milk. That's kind of the initial smell on warm. This one goes for quite a while. It went for a solid 2 days before I took it out. It could have gone longer. And strength on this one was, I would say, solid medium, maybe like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Solid medium. The issue with this one for me is it changed a lot as the warm went on. So it went from this kind of like well-balanced cinnamon vanilla with a little bit of coconut milk. It went to straight up like coconut. And it was kind of that coconut that Scentsy sometimes uses that is kind of like this dry, flat, almost dusty coconut. That's what this turned to on day 2. The first day, it was this kind of nicely balanced, kind of similar to something like cinnamon vanilla. But then as time went on, this one kind of turned and I didn't care for it. My daughter walked into the office at one point and she was like, "This is horrible, can you take it out?" And she rarely comments on wax and she usually doesn't have like negative opinions of it. But she did not care for this one and I couldn't blame her. I was not enjoying it either. So we did take it out at the second day. So this one is very long lasting. It seems to be an average duration or average strength as well, at least. And it starts out promising, but for me, just the way this one ends up, not a favorite. And personally, I think cinnamon vanilla that's in our catalog is better than this one. So Sizzlin Coconut, not one I would recommend or purchase again. I think the person who would enjoy that one is one who loves cinnamon vanilla and wants a like coconut version of it. That would be who I would suggest for Sizzlin Coconut. The next one we have here is Lily of the Valley. Now this one is not a bad scent. In fact, there's going to be a category of people who love this. This is fresh and green, true to the scent of white lily. This is a very well done spring floral. I will say that. It has a bit of a creaminess to it. Very like authentic petals. Like it smells like authentic creamy flower petals. But it is very floral and kind of like a powdery, nice. My little frizz piece here is getting highlighted by a sunbeam. Okay. It is kind of like a creamy, smooth, but very heady floral. It is on the heady side, but it is kind of like a spring version of a heady floral. This smells like Easter time. It smells like Easter time. If you want a nice spring floral bar, I would suggest picking this up. I can't think of anything that we have in the catalog for spring and summer that we know of yet. That would be similar to this. So if you want a nice, very like unadulterated, pure floral, it's not fresh, it's not fruity, there's nothing else making this more appealing to everyone else. This is straight up floral. And sometimes we need that. So if you're someone who's looking for just a kind of simple spring floral with that kind of like creamy, authentic floral note to it, this one is worth trying. For me, it's not a repurchase. I don't care for it that much myself, but I can see how this is a very well done spring floral. So if that sounds appealing to you, Lily of the Valley is definitely worth picking up. For me, not a repurchase, just not my type of scent. The next one we have here is one that I did not like at all on cold. In my opinion, improved on warm. This is Simply Cinnamon. This is warm, spicy, pure cinnamon. Now on cold, this one smells like pizza to me, like pizza or spaghetti sauce or oregano. There's something like tomato based about this to me. On cold. I didn't get that on warm. On warm, this really sorted itself out. It was just kind of like a dry, barky cinnamon. It wasn't like a bakery cinnamon at all. It was just kind of like dry and barky. It's okay. I think we have better cinnamons. This was kind of like a light medium strength. I did 2 cubes in the office. Light medium strength, and it went for about a day. So kind of like an average to slightly less than average performer. It was okay, but I think Clove and Cinnamon is a better spice scent. I think Cozy Fireside is a better one. We had that one last holiday season. This one reminds me a little bit of if you took one of the notes from Cozy Fireside and pulled it out, this would be it. But I feel like Cozy Fireside had much more going on. There was more complexity to that spice. Whereas this one is just kind of that dry, barky cinnamon. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with this scent on warm. I think it would mix well, but it's not one I'll get again. I think we have better stuff in the catalog. The next one we have here is bars that I liked, but will not repurchase personally. Now the next one here is a really lovely scent, and it's very different. It is Taj Mahal. This is a soft oriental fragrance built on a base of musk and amber with subtle florals. So musk, amber, and subtle florals in an oriental fragrance. This is very pretty. This one, to me, smells like people though. It smells like people I have smelled, people I have hugged, in a very lovely way. It's a very like nostalgic, memory-evoking type scent. It smells like lovely ladies. Like, think of some of like the most wonderful older ladies you have ever hugged in your life. This smells like them in like the best way. I love it. It's great, but it's a scent that I would want to smell on people, not in my home, if that makes sense. The performance on this was very good. Longevity was crazy. It lasted like 2-3 days. I did 2 cubes in the office. As this one went on, it got more perfumey, and I liked that less than the initial phase, but it was still fine. Yeah, not a purchase for me, but again, this is going to be one of those ones where you have to smell it because it's very hard to describe, but there is going to be people who love this because it's going to remind you of people that you've known and loved. This is what that scent is. This is not one that is going to be widely appealing, I don't think, but it's one that if you have known people that you love that smelled like this is going to be one you want to smell and have around. So Taj Mahal, very pretty, very different. The closest I can think of to compare it to would be something like Southern Evening from Bring Back My Bar a couple of years ago. That one was stronger on something. This one is more palatable to me. This one is powderier and I think prettier than Southern Evening. It also reminds me just a little bit of Black Tie Affair. This is like the mother of the person who wears Black Tie Affair. If Black Tie Affair is like a cologne, this is that cologne's mom. Very, very pretty. So Taj Mahal, really lovely, but not a purchase. Performance, very good. I do think that one would be open layout worthy if you wanted it to be. The next one here is Lucky in Love. This one is a sweet bouquet of mandarin, bergamot, and orange with hints of peaches and berries. This one is supposed to be a dupe for Victoria's Secret Love Spell, which I've never smelled, but apparently it is. This is a kind of classic fruity perfumey scent. Mostly fruity. You definitely get the orange and berries. What else are they saying? There is a little bit of peach here. Definitely the orange and the berries with like a hint of like a white clean musk. There's a very soft clean musk here, like a light perfumey scent that doesn't overpower, but it does smell body care rather than just purely fruity. It's really pretty. Nice bedroom scent. I did 2 cubes of this in my daughter's room. This one went longer than I expected it to. The first day it was about a medium, maybe 6 out of 10, so maybe a little bit better than medium. And then it kind of did like taper off. But this one went, I left it in her warmers for like 3 days just because I forgot to change the wax. And you could still smell it a little bit when you took it out. So longevity was better than average. Performance strength was about average. So Lucky in Love, a nice bedroom scent if you like that kind of thing. I do think this would be a pretty bedroom scent for spring. I also think this is a pretty bedroom scent for around Valentine's Day. So because these launch on January 1st, this one might be a really nice one to pick up and stash away for Valentine's Day. You should have it in time for that. Yeah, that's a good one. The next one we have here is Posy Peach. This one is Peach and Violet Leaf. Now Posy Peach, I did 2 cubes in my daughter's room again. She did a lot of testing in her room. This is nice. This is a kind of candied peach scent with a little bit of creaminess to it without being milky in any way. And that violet leaf is just adding a bit of green here. The violet leaf I was afraid might overpower on warm. It did not. It was a kind of smooth candied peach scent with a little bit of like a, I say creaminess, but I don't want you to think that means milkiness because it's not like a peaches and cream type scent at all. But it was a smoother peach, like a smoother peach candy, with a hint of like leaf to make it just a little bit more realistic. It reminded me a little bit of a scent we had in the summer collection a few years ago called Peachy and Palm Trees. This reminded me quite a bit of that, more than any other peach we've had. So if you miss Peachy and Palm Trees, this isn't a dead ringer for it, but it's the closest we've smelled. So Posy Peach was a good one. Really liked that. This one actually performed reasonably well too. I would say light medium to medium in strength. I would not do this in an open layout. I would say bedroom size spaces only. And yeah, longevity, this one I think went about 2 days. So light, medium, 2 days. So with this one, strength is a little bit less than average, but you get more longevity out of it as a trade-off. So not bad either way. Good scent, not a repurchase for me, but we did really enjoy it. Next one we have here is Yuzu Dragon, and this is probably the prettiest color of them all, with that kind of bright coral pink. This one is guava, honeyed nectarine, dragon fruit, and yuzu. So this one, I did 2 cubes in the office, and this one is perfect for people who live in hot climates. If you live somewhere where it gets really hot, this is going to be your bar. This smells like peak summer, like middle of July. It is super, super hot out, and you want something that's going to be kind of light in the air and not sticky, not heavy, and not like sticking to your skin, if that makes sense. This is light and airy. It does have a lot of citrus to it. There's also something about this that kind of comes across on warm as fresh. Now it isn't like aquatic or anything like that, but there is something about this on warm that leans into fresh rather than just sweet and fruity. And it could be the yuzu. I think it's probably the yuzu. But it was really lovely. And this one again went about 36 hours. The longer it went, the more fresh it got. It started out more of that fruitiness, and then it got more fresh as time went on. And strength is about medium. So about an average performer, but really like this. It's not a scent I would reach for often, maybe once a year on the hottest days. And I have a few of those scents already. So for me, it's not a repurchase, but I think if you live somewhere where it gets really hot often, this would be one that might be a favorite for you. This was really, really nice. And I will enjoy the heck out of the rest of it. That's a good one. So Yuzu Dragon, performance, solid average, good bar. The next one we have here is Cozy Kitchen. This is warm up to a blissful batch of warm oats with brown sugar and spicy cinnamon swirl. Now this one I have got a brick of from last holiday season. This was a holiday brick last year. This was not a favorite of mine initially. Now I warmed 2 cubes from this little bar here, and I did this in the office. And I like it better this way. And I think this one gets better with time as well as the warm goes on. Because when you first put this in, it's what you smell is what you get. It's a very, very sweet brown sugar oaty type scent. But then as time goes on, it kind of like mellows into itself, and it just smells like a room where you've been like baking or cooking breakfast or sweet treats. It really kind of mellows into itself and becomes very pleasant. This one also mixes really well with things like Dutch apple bread, clove and cinnamon, that sort of thing. So Cozy Kitchen. This one, it's gone up in my approximations here. I don't love it on cold, but on warm, I'm liking it much better. So there is Cozy Kitchen. Again, not a repurchase for me, but if I didn't have a brick of it, I probably would get more of this. So that is Cozy Kitchen. I do think that one is worth trying. The next one we have here is probably going to get the award here for the most disappointing bar. This is Mandarin Toffee Treat. This is sugared mandarin, sugarcane, and creamy toffee butter. So I did the full bar of this in my open layout. Now the story behind this one is I had this bar 8 to 10 years ago from a craft fair. I bought it from another consultant way before I was a consultant. And back then I lived in like a smaller townhouse, and I had one warmer for my entire house. And I put 2 cubes of this scent into my warmer, and it scented my entire main floor. So I thought for sure this would be a decent performer now. So I did a full bar in my open layout. My house isn't that much bigger than my old townhouse was as far as the main area is concerned. But this one I could hardly smell. Like, I remember this being quite a good performer when I first had it years and years ago. But this one, I did the full bar, and it was maybe like a 2 to 3 out of 10 in strength at peak. And it went for maybe like 3-4 hours before you couldn't smell it at all. It was very disappointing. Now, sometimes you'll get a bar that is very light, but it goes for a long time, or you'll get a bar that's very strong, but not for very long. This one was incredibly weak and incredibly short-lived. So it was just very disappointing for performance all around. But the scent that I could smell from it, I really loved. It was this pretty balance of like mandarin and toffee, and I got a piece of dog hair flying by me. It was this really pretty mandarin with this very creamy toffee butter. Now, sometimes caramely or toffee scents can smell burnt. This one had none of that. This one was a very nicely balanced toffee scent. And with that mandarin, it was a very unique and unusual and pleasant pairing. But I didn't like that I had to search so hard for it in my house. Now, one remedy to that could be warming this in a smaller space. I don't have a smaller space in my home that I would warm this in. For me, this is a scent that I would want in either a dining room, kitchen, or living room. And in my particular home, that is all together. So if you have a house layout that has separated rooms, I think you may enjoy this one much more. If you have a separated room layout, I would recommend trying this. Mandarin Toffee Treat, love the scent, but I would not recommend this for open layout people. Yeah, so I am going to try another bar of this. And then I was thinking maybe it's an age thing. Maybe the bar that I had years ago had been sitting for a lot longer. And I have a friend who has a bar of this, and hers was much older. Hers had been sitting for quite a while as well. She warmed hers to see if age made a difference, and hers was a dud too. So my new bar was a dud, her old bar was a dud. So I think this bar might just be a dud. So Mandarin Toffee Treat, love the scent. I am going to try another bar of it just to make sure, because I do really like it. But but I would only recommend this if you have a home with separate rooms, would be my recommendation on that one. And again, performance for me was just absolutely one of the worst. Next one we have here was much better. This was cherry clove chutney. This was crushed Bing cherries, cloves, and cinnamon. This was very pleasant. I did this one yesterday. This is a perfect winter bar for people who like fruity scents. So if you live somewhere where there's still some winter left, but you like fruitier scents, this one is one I would strongly recommend. Cherry clove chutney. So yeah, Bing cherries, clove, and cinnamon. This one, to my nose, had much less spice on warm than it does on cold. On cold, you get more of that spice. On warm, I got less of the spice and much more of the cherry. The cherry in this bar is not cough syrup at all to my nose. To my nose, this was like a sour cherry candy. And I did get kind of like a sourness to it. So if you're not a fan of that kind of like sour type note, this one may not be for you. But it was kind of like a sour cherry. For me, the sourness was almost a little bit too sour. It got a little bit cloying at times. But I did like it. I liked it, but probably not enough to get more. So cherry clove chutney, really liked, was worth trying. I did enjoy trying it. I'm glad I tried it. I would recommend trying it. But for me, it's not a repurchase. The next one we have here that I may get more of. It almost made it to my next category. This is Ode to Opulence. This is lavish your senses with the sweet evocative aroma of apricot, blood orange, coconut milk, black currant, and spiced vanilla. So again, apricot, blood orange, coconut milk, black currant, and spiced vanilla. Now on cold and warm, I did not get spiced vanilla here. What I did with this bar is I did 1 cube in my ensuite bathroom, 1 cube in the warmer by my bed, and then 2 cubes in my other bedroom warmer. Now this one was very similar on warm to the cold sniff. I really like this one. My husband thought it was a little bit strong, a little bit much. The thing that I think about this bar is it's going to be confusing because it looks like it's going to be a deep, dark, sensual, perfumey bar, just based on the color and the name, Ode to Opulence. But this is just a straight up creamy, fruity bar. It's fruity and creamy. It is like apricots and cream with some like black currant, berry type notes. It's very fruity. It's on the sweet side. There's no perfumey tones here whatsoever on cold or warm. It's very beautiful. But it's very like spring summery. Like I think the color for this bar should have been like a bright pink or like a creamy orange or something like that, not dark purple. The scent and the color and the name don't match. This reminds me a lot of a bar we had in the licensed collection a while ago called Love and Kisses Mini. On cold and warm, this reminds me a lot of Love and Kisses Mini. The difference is Love and Kisses Mini was much lighter. This is a much better performer. And Love and Kisses Mini had a bit of a perfume note to it that this does not. So if you want to save 50 cents on your bar of Love and Kisses Mini, I would suggest trying Ode to Opulence and seeing if you can replace Love and Kisses Mini with this one, because they're very similar. This one's actually a better performer. This is a solid medium. Again, my husband thought it was too strong. I thought it was a good solid medium. Yeah, and it went for a good day and a half, 2 days. So better than average performer. Really, really like this one. So Ode to Opulence. If I didn't have a stash of Love and Kisses Mini already, I would probably get more of this, and I might still get more of this. I really like this. So Ode to Opulence. I think if you're a fan of fruity scents, this is a no-brainer. If you like fruity scents, try Ode to Opulence. It's a beautiful one. It's got a bit of creaminess to it. I think it's the coconut milk that's doing that. Again, I got no spice whatsoever to this, so the spiced vanilla did not come through. But yeah, it's beautiful. Very, very nice and a good performer. Ode to Opulence. The last 2 categories here are the winners of the bunch. Now, the other ones here there were some really good ones in there. Like a lot of the bars we just talked about were very good. I would recommend some of them. The next ones are ones that like were really good. Okay, the first one here, and again, this is like in least to most favorites. So next here we have Thunderstorm. So a very refreshing, sharp, spicy outdoor fragrance like the breeze in a storm. Now this one, that doesn't give us much to go on, does it? This one is kind of like a fresh, wet floral. This smells like the cooler cupboards in like a florist shop where you open it and there's like bouquets of wet flowers in there sitting in water, and there's like the wet greenery and the wet stem smell and the petals. This smells like wet florals. There's also a hint of ozone here, which is probably why it's Thunderstorm. This is gorgeous. You do have to like florals, but it's beautiful. And I typically don't like florals, but I love Thunderstorm. This is one I will get another couple bars of to stock up on. This is one that I only melt like once a year, but on like a broody, like dark cloudy day when there's a storm in the forecast possibly, this is a good one to melt. And again, this one smells like it would be very long lasting. It isn't long lasting. I did 1 cube of this in the laundry room, and I've melted this many times before as well. You can do this in an open layout. It does do well in the open layout, but not terribly long. I would say 12 hours in the open layout. It did do 24 in the laundry room. And I would say like a medium to medium plus in strength. So somewhere between a 5 and a 7 in strength. So strength is decent. Longevity is a little bit less than average. And that's confusing because it does smell like it would be long lasting, but it just isn't. So Thunderstorm, definitely a repurchase. Really love that one. And the thing about Thunderstorm is there's really not much else like it. The closest I can think of that we've had is Flower Shop. That was kind of similar, very pleasant. This one is, I think I like Thunderstorm better. It's a better performer. It's just so good. Okay, the next one we had here is a surprise. I did not think I would like this as much as I did. This was Sedona Sunset. This is just as the setting sun paints the desert sky, flamboyant desert lily and vanilla orchid enliven creamy coconut milk and ethereal jasmine. So desert lily, vanilla orchid, coconut milk, and jasmine. The thing about this one is there's nothing else like this whatsoever. Like I couldn't come up with a single comparison scent to this. This is very hard to describe as well. There's almost like a dryness here that almost leans spicy, but it's not spicy. That's the wrong word. This, I think I'm mostly getting the orchid, the vanilla orchid, and there is quite a bit of vanilla here. The coconut milk, there is no coconut, but there is that very like smooth creaminess to the scent. It is like a creamy, smooth floral. This is a gorgeous bedroom scent. What I did 2 cubes of this in the office. I'm gonna melt the rest of my bedroom because I love this. This smells like late spring, early summer in my neck of the woods. Or if you live somewhere very hot, I would say August, September. In my neck of the woods, I'm melting full fall by then. But this smells like when it's not quite peak hot, but it's getting there. So this is a pretty early summer, late spring type scent to my nose. It is hard to describe. I would say it's a creamy, smooth floral. There is nothing else like this. This is just one you have to try to smell to get a sense of it. And I would say, I think if you're going to add a wild card bar to your order and just take a chance on one, I would make it Sedona Sunset. If you want to just add a wild card that you're not sure about, this one is a wild card, but it's so good. I think most people will enjoy this. I think it would be a scent that most people won't hate. It's very pretty. And again, it's so unique and it's worth trying. I do think it's probably best suited to bedroom size spaces. It was about a medium strength in my office. Went a day and a half or so. Was lovely. Smelled very much the same on cold as it did on warm. So no surprises there. Sedona Sunset. The next one we have here is Key Lime Pie. This is a mouth-watering blend of coconut and lime. So there's that one. Now this one is much more key lime than it is coconut. And it does have that kind of creaminess that a key lime pie filling does. It smells like key lime pie filling straight up. Much less coconut. So this one I did in my office, 2 cubes. I was really hoping to get like a crust note on warm, and I didn't. I didn't get the crust, but that creaminess from the pie filling did stay on warm. This one has a real cheek puckering thing going on. It's kind of very like almost like sour in like a very good way, in a very refreshing way. It's cheek puckering. It's a good one. Key lime pie. I think what I want to do with this is try this in the summer mixed with something like crumb top or oats and honey. One of those kind of streusel topping type scents to make the pie. I want to get the pie base going on here. But this is really nice. If you like key lime pie, this is just kind of one that you're going to like. Yeah, I'm going to probably get more of this. I think I do need another bar or 2 of this. This is one that I would probably warm like once a summer, but it's very pleasant. So key lime pie. Now, if you're thinking, what is the difference between this and Cocoa Lime, which is in our summer catalog? They both have the same notes, coconut and lime. This one is definitely key lime. Key lime is like, I don't know, it's zingier and sour and like just more intense, I guess, in the lime. Where Cocoa Lime is just regular lime and coconut. And I feel like Cocoa Lime is sweeter. This is tartar. Cocoa Lime has a little bit of vanilla. This has that really, really creamy pie filling type thing going on. where Cocoa Lime just has a bit of vanilla creaming it out. This is more straight up pie filling. And Cocoa Lime has more coconut in balancing that lime. This has very little coconut. They're both good, but I think they are fairly different. Yeah, this is just straight up key lime pie filling. So there's key lime pie. Really like that one, and I will get more of that. Performance on that was good. It was, I would say, like a 7 out of 10 strength in my office and went for a full 24 hours. So better than average strength, average duration. The next one we have here is Pixie. Now, Pixie is a mischievous moonscape of pink pepper, mandarin, and heliotrope, deepened by exotic teakwood and vanilla oak. So again, pink pepper, mandarin, and heliotrope, teakwood, and vanilla oak. This one is a perfumey scent, which you might have gathered from the notes. It's perfumey. This reminds me of something I've had from Lush before, and I can't remember what it was. But it smells like a Lush store. It's very pleasant. It reminds me of like maybe like ylang ylang is the floral I'm getting here. I'm not necessarily getting heliotrope on cold or warm. Now, heliotrope's a weird floral, and then it actually smells like cherry pie filling. It's a very sweet floral. And I'm not getting that here. This is powdery, it's perfumey, and it's very deep and cold weather appropriate. This was very pleasant for this time of year. Yeah, I get the pink pepper, teakwood, not a whole ton. Mandarin. I mean, I get a little bit of mandarin on cold. I didn't get the mandarin so much on warm, especially later in the warm. This is another one of those ones that's hard to describe. It smells floral and kind of like a bath. It smells like bathy. It smells like a bath bomb, which is very pleasant for like a bathroom or bedroom. So Pixie, this smells to me like Valentine's Day. Again, very good Valentine's Day bar, perfect for this time of year. So if you're looking for Valentine's scents, Lucky in Love and Pixie would be my recommendations. So again, I do like this one a lot. It's not one I would melt all the time, so it's not gonna be a club bar for me. And with this one, I did 3 cubes in my bedroom, 2 in one warmer, 1 in the other. And it was a good, it went for a full 2 days, like easily. Full 2 days, so better than average longevity and a good solid medium strength. I would not try this in an open layout. It's definitely like a bedroom size space scent. And I don't think you would want this in an open layout. It smells more like a bedroom scent anyway. So Pixie, really nice. I will get more of that one, but not a club bar. The next one we have here is Snuggle Up. Snuggle Up is Cashmere Woods, Angel Lavender, and Soothing Sage. So Cashmere Woods, Lavender, and Sage. This one reminds me, it's probably the closest thing we've had to Stargazing, which was a scent of the month years ago that had like a clean floral scent with vanilla. Snuggle Up is very similar. The floral note is similar. They're calling it Cashmere Woods here. This overall, the impression is cuddly, cozy, clean, a little bit laundry. Laundry, but not like bright light laundry room. This is laundry, but like fluffy laundry, cozy towels in a basket, nice and warm, with a cat sleeping on them. That is what Snuggle Up is. Sometimes when you think laundry, you think very sharp, harsh, cleaning soap. This is not that. This is like dryer sheets, cuddly linens with a cat sleeping on them. That's how I describe this. This is like a sweet lavender. There is lavender here, but it's a very sugared lavender. I wouldn't say there's much vanilla going on here. Whereas something like Stargazing had quite a lot of vanilla. I wouldn't say I get much, if any, vanilla here, but there is a sweetness, and I think it's in the lavender. Possibly the sage. But this is just pretty. And now I remember this being a lighter bar, but when I smelled this, I was like, this is actually like fairly strong in the bar. So I did 3 cubes. I did 1 in each of my bedroom warmers and then 1 in the ensuite bathroom. So 3 cubes in that whole general area. It's strong, like almost too strong, blow you out of the room strong. So I would probably like cut it down to just like 1 warmer with 2 cubes next time. It was a lot, but it's so pretty, like so pretty. 48 hours is how long this one went. Nice and long lasting. And again, strong. So again, this is one of the better performers of the bunch. I think you probably could do this in an open layout if you wanted to. I prefer this for the bedroom myself, maybe laundry rooms or bathrooms as well. But this to me smells more like your cuddly, cozy spaces. Places that might have linens. Although it would be pretty in a living room too in the right house. This one I will be getting more of for sure. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Much better performer than I remembered or expected. Snuggle Up is a good one. And again, nothing else is like it currently. The closest thing I can think of that we had in the past was stargazing, but it's been years since we had that. So Snuggle Up, definitely worth trying, especially if you like those kind of like cozy lavender, laundry, just cuddly cozy scents. Snuggle Up is well worth trying. Next we have Orange Clove Pomander. This one was ginger, clove, and vanilla, make for a spicy sweet treat. Ginger, clove, and vanilla. I did the full bar of this in my open layout a couple weeks ago. This was very pleasant. It was a nice balance of orange, and the orange here was kind of like a sweet orange. It wasn't, I would say, Mandarin, but it also wasn't like a navel orange or anything like that either. It was kind of like a sweet, like bakery orange almost. There was like a bakery tone here, and I think it was the ginger. Ginger and clove. The spice profile here was lovely and delicate mixed with that orange. There was almost a hint of a bakery tone here as well, and I don't know what that was. It was almost like a bready, not quite bready, but like a sweet loaf, like maybe a loaf, like a dessert loaf. It was very pleasant. Liked this one a lot. It was about a medium, light medium to medium strength in my open layout. It was not very long lasting, which was the downside of this bar. I would say less than 12 hours and light medium to medium in strength. So a little bit less than average in performance for strength and in longevity. So you do sacrifice some performance with Orange Clove Pomander. But again, if you have a home with divided rooms, this one may do a lot better for you. So Orange Clove Pomander. This is one I will get more of. I really like the scent a lot, enough to put up with the short performance. And I actually could smell this one compared to Mandarin Toffee Treat, which I really couldn't smell. This one I could smell, it just didn't last very long. Really liked it though. So this one again, if you live somewhere where there's still some winter left, this is a great winter but not holiday bar. So Orange Clove Pomander, really liked that. And we'll definitely get more. The next one we have going is Berry Tart. Now Berry Tart is a medley of sweet berries, buttery pastry, and caramel. So sweet berries, buttery pastry, and caramel. Yes, there is a buttery pastry note here, very similar to the pastry note in Rum Pum Plum. This actually reminds me a lot of Rum Pum Plum, which is in our catalog currently. This almost has what to my nose reads as like a lemon cream note. I get lemon in here somewhere on warm. I didn't get it on cold, but on warm, I almost get like a lemon cream or something like that, like a lemon Danish with that sweet plum as well, like a platter with like a berry Danish. I could smell plum here very easily as well, on cold and warm. I feel like that berry tart probably has some plums in it as well, and there's also lemon Danishes on that tray, is what I'm smelling here. This is a light medium scent in my open layout. Did the full bar, and shorter than average duration. I would say again, 12 hours or so, not terribly long lasting. But again, when Rum Pum Plum first came out last winter, it was getting a lot of reviews saying the same. It's a good scent, but it's very short lasting. This one is very similar to that to my nose, and I think it's going to probably age very similarly, and Rum Pum Plum does perform better with age. So I suspect Berry Tart probably will as well. I am going to get more of this because to me this is just like the more spring appropriate version of Rum Pum Plum. Rum Pum Plum I do think you could melt most of the year round, but this just has, with that little bit of like almost what my nose is perceiving as lemon, makes this just lend itself a bit better to late winter, early spring. So I will probably get another bar or two of this, but it's not one I'm going to club or anything like that. I do really like it, but I think if you need to cut down your Bring Back My Bar list, I think you could cut out Berry Tart and just get Rum Pum Plum out of the catalog instead. So that is Berry Tart. All right, the next one we have here, and the last one in this category, is Summer Sippin. So we have Summer Sippin here. This one is sun-ripened raspberries with tangy lemons, make you wish it were summer. So lemons and raspberries. Now this one, I did 2 cubes in my daughter's room, and we have differing opinions on this one. I love this scent on cold, and I wish I could smell it on warm. My daughter says she can smell it on warm, and she absolutely loves it. I don't know why, but I can't smell this one on warm. In her room, and her room holds scent very well. Her room is like a regular bedroom size, doesn't have a ton of airflow. It holds scent very well in her room. So I should be able to smell this because scents last forever in her room. I can't smell this in her room. She says she can smell it and that she loves it. I can't smell it in her room at all. I can smell it on cold. It's very pleasant. It's like a raspberry lemonade type scent, but I just can't pick it up in her room. So I use the same amount of wax I always do, 2 cubes. I'm gonna get more because she loves it. Like, it's one of her favorite things she's done in a while. And I hope I'm just having a weird nose day. Like, it could just be a fluke. I'm having a weird nose day or something. But I can't smell Summer Sippin in her room at all. So, could be a weird nose thing. Probably is. But she loves it, so that is Summer Sippin. I will get more for her. This next category of bars is the last 5. And I didn't plan for it to be 5, but it happens to be 5. And these are the ones that are probably going into my club. So these are the best of the best ones that I want to keep getting on an ongoing basis for the long haul. So I will be using the Always Get My Bar perk to do that. The first one we have in that category is Pumpkin Tiramisu. This is layer pumpkin with sweet brown sugar and vanilla cream for an autumn twist on a favorite Italian dessert. So pumpkin, brown sugar, and vanilla cream. My nose also picks up a hefty dose in here of maple. There is absolutely maple in this, which comes out more on warm. This is such a good bar though. This is a great performer. I did 2 cubes in the office, 2 full days, and a solid medium strength. This is a great one. It is so pleasant. And again, even though it's winter now and like the holiday time, this didn't smell out of place because the pumpkin in here is just barely there. It's mostly just like a very lovely gourmand, rich bakery scent. You do have to like caramel scents. You do have to like maple, I think, but it's absolutely glorious. So pumpkin tiramisu going straight to my club. Love that one. And I remember that one aging well too. I've had a bar of that before that aged very well, so that's going in my club. Next one we have here is Bergamot and Solar Driftwood. This one is crisp bergamot, mandarin, and dreamy driftwood. So bergamot, mandarin, and driftwood. Now bergamot can go kind of cologne-y sometimes, or it can go very citrusy, and in here it's going citrusy. It's so good. It's so good. It's citrusy. It's got some like sea salt minerals to it. It's very Calgon Take Me Away. Love. So what I did with this one, I did 2 cubes in my daughter's bedroom, and then I did 1 cube in her bathroom. No, 1 cube in our bathroom, and then 2 cubes in her bedroom. It's so good. Performance is about average. It's not breaking any performance records. It's like an average 24 hours, medium strength, but it's so good. I do have concerns about whether this could handle an open layout. I don't know that it could, but we'll see. I haven't tried it there yet, but it's gorgeous. This one is going to be kicking out Dark Harbor from my club. Dark Harbor was a bar that had like lime and lavender and like ocean water and stuff that we had him bring back my bar last round, and that is in my club currently. I will be kicking it out and putting Bergamot and Solar Driftwood in, because Dark Harbor had a bit of a masculine cologne note, especially on warm. I didn't get that so much with this one. Some people are describing this as masculine. I wouldn't necessarily say so. I can't perceive anything cologne-like about this at all. Cold or warm. It's like a citrusy, clean, ocean-type scent. Love. Bergamot and Solar Driftwood. Again, if you are unsure about this one because of the name does sound kind of scary, try it. It's so good. Next one we have here is one that I wasn't really sure about on cold. I liked it, but I didn't love it. This is Woolly Slippers. So slide into a sweet and cozy cloud of sugared lavender, marshmallow, and vanilla. So sugared lavender, marshmallow, and vanilla. This one got so good on warm. You know how some scents go from like, it's all right, to what just happened? This one was one of those. Yeah, on cold, it's like sweet lavender, vanilla, but it almost has like an undertone of white glue, like children's crafting glue. That's on cold. You get none of that on warm. Not even a little bit. On warm, this is the most like cuddly, cozy, sweet sugar marshmallow with a hint of lavender, sweet lavender. But that marshmallow note on warm, oh, it's so good. It's so good. So with this one, I did 2 cubes in one warmer, 1 cube in the other, and it was so good, so good. Loved that so much. I cannot wait to warm this some more. This is going straight to my club and never, ever, ever, ever leaving. Like best lavender marshmallow. And even if you don't like lavender, some people don't like lavender. Even if you don't, I think there's much more marshmallow here on cold and warm. It's mostly a marshmallow scent, like a sweet vanilla marshmallow with like a hint of like sweet lavender in the background. So good. Woolly Slippers. Absolutely love it. I see what the hype's about now. Love. Next one we have here is banana nut bread. This one I didn't actually warm because I warm this all the time. I have this in my club. I've had it in my club for years. So I didn't warm this particular bar because I know what the scent is about. I've warmed it so much. This is right from the oven with ripe bananas, nuts, and spices. Banana nut bread is one of those ones that you do sacrifice some strength with. It's so good though. It's so good. I don't like banana scents. I don't like bananas. I don't like banana scents. But I love banana nut bread. So even if you're not a banana person, this one is worth a try if you like bakery scents. Because the candied banana note in this, which you do smell quite a bit on cold, goes away within a couple hours of warming this, and you're left with this just dessert loaf banana bread, perfectly spiced with, and I wouldn't say it's spiced, like it's not spiced as in spicy. It's just, you know how when you make banana loaf, it has those kind of like bakery tones to it. It's just bakery tones in a dessert loaf with a hint of banana, and the banana gets really realistic like towards the end. It's really weird. The banana starts out as candied banana, but as it goes on, the banana gets like very realistic banana loaf. It's odd, but it's so good. So banana nut bread is staying in my club forever and ever because it's so good. And that one you can warm year round. Banana nut bread is a perfect spring summer bakery. It's perfect for fall winter. You can warm banana nut bread any time of year and it's never out of place. It's such a good one. If you don't know what to warm, you probably want to warm banana nut bread. And then my favorite of the bunch, probably tied with banana nut bread. I love banana nut bread. Tied with favorite is Cranberry Spice. This is going directly into my club. Love this one. This one is a generous blend of cloves and ginger, help define sophistication of tart cranberry. So cranberry, cloves, and ginger, which sounds very basic. But this one is so different than the scent notes imply. This is, I get apple in here for sure. Like baked apple. They say cranberry. I do get some cranberry. But mostly in this one, it was more like a spiced apple that I got. And there's no apple in the notes, but I am certain there is apple in this bar. Cranberry Spice. Did the full bar in my open layout. Longevity was about 18 hours, so a little less than average. Strength was about a medium. So nothing crazy for performance, but the scent appeal on this one was where it shone. This one reminded me of a mix between two scents we've had before. One of them is Snow-Kissed Cranberry. The only thing about that this reminded me of is that Snow-Kissed Cranberry is a very sweet, kind of like pink cranberry. This was a very sweet cranberry, not a tart one. So as opposed to being like a tart or perfumey cranberry, this was just a sweet, gentle cranberry, just like in Snow-Kissed Cranberry. The other thing this reminded me a lot of was Saint Nickerdoodle. Saint Nickerdoodle was a Scents of the Season bar we had a couple years ago. It was like icing sugar and spices and cookie, and it was just like snickerdoodle cookie with like baked apple as well. I get baked apple in here, and I get that cinnamon sugar, and there's a bakery tone. So to me, this is like if you took the sweet cranberry from Snow-Kissed Cranberry and mixed it with the Saint Nickerdoodle. That is what Cranberry Spice is. It's so good. If you are missing Saint Nickerdoodle, get yourself some Cranberry Spice. I know it doesn't say there's apple in it, but there's totally apple in it. It's so good. Oh. And again, Saint Nickerdoodle was the same. It wasn't terribly long lasting. And that is kind of how Cranberry Spice is as well. It's not as long lasting as some, but the scent appeal on that one is through the roof. And despite it being called Cranberry Spice, I wouldn't say this is like Christmassy necessarily. It could be. It could be very holiday-ish. I warmed it around the holidays and it was great. But this could also be very just wintry. You could warm this easily from, say, November through February, easily. Probably March, depending on where you live. So yeah, Cranberry Spice was tied for first in that round for me. Loved that one. So again, cinnamon sugar, apple, and a very sweet cranberry in Cranberry Spice. So that is what I have got there. That was my picks. So yeah, quite a few going straight to club. And I would love to know what your favorites are in the comments as well, because we all have different scent preferences. So let us know in the bottom below what your 6-pack would be if you had to pick a 6-pack of these bars. Either to order or to recommend to others. Let us know. And if you've tried any of these, let us know in the comments below how they were for you. It's always interesting to see because everyone's house is different. And so what performs well or poorly in my house might perform totally opposite in your house. It totally depends on house, climate, nose, everything else. So let us know in the comments if you had different experiences than me as well, so that we can kind of see if there's patterns in that as well. So hope that was helpful. Hope you are having a great week here between Christmas and New Year's. This is like my favorite week of the year. You just don't know what day it is and you're just snacking on cookies and leftovers and stuff the whole time. It's just great. So hope you are enjoying this time as well, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.